Two mega powers meeting here tonight.
The mega powers, brother.
The mega, yeah, the mega, yeah, the mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah.
Hello, wrestling fans. It's your boy Scandoose, the hip hop original, alongside Sire. And we are the Mega Powers, and this is episode number 17. And we're joined by an incredible faction of brothers, you know, with incredible knowledge of the wrestling business, which we're going to delve into during this podcast, man. So, yeah, without further ado, we want to welcome to the Mega Powers podcast the one and only AJ, Den the Tech, Big Tone, representing the Ministry of Wrestling. How you doing, sir?
We're good. We're good.
Man.
And just as we always do, we have to do it, even if it's a cross brand, guys. Have to throw up the hey yo, because hey, it's another cross episode. So you know what that means. We're here. Yeah, we're entering the multiverse of wrestling once again, guys. So I have to say to the Mega Powers, thank you guys for
Since
this
it's a
invite.
Mega Powers thing, bro, we got to do the Mega Powers handshake, man. So if you get the handshake, ready, bring it in.
Love it.
That's right. Everyone became macho. No one was the other guy. Everyone was macho right there.
Only one that was authentic, bro.
What you mean, brother?
Nice.
No, but again, have to say thank you guys for throwing out and extending the invite. It means a lot to the ministry. Trust me, we appreciate it.
Wicked, man. The first question we always open our interviews with, man, and I'm going to go one by one. We're going to go round. Starting with you, AJ. How did you find your way into wrestling? Where did it begin for you?
Bro, do you know the maddest thing? I always say it's a mad one because I remember my parents first getting, not even my parents, my grandparents getting Sky. And the first thing I remember, you talk about Den saying we don't talk about the other guy. I remember seeing Hulk Hogan slamming Earthquake, and I was like, "Rah, this is mad." And it was something I just kept on watching, and I was like, "All right, I like wrestling, and I'm doing a bit of this, bit of that." And I remember it was one time after a few years, I was like, "Rah, no, wrestling's my thing, man. Like, everything else has left me. Power Rangers is gone, Turtles is gone, but wrestling's still here." That's how it started off for me.
Amazing, man. So at the beginning, what would you? I said you mentioned Hogan slamming Earthquake. But who would you say was like your first favorite wrestler, and what was the first match or pay-per-view you actually remember seeing?
Sadly, I know it's controversial, and no man should ever have to admit it. Well, I don't like to admit it, but I think it does. It still goes back to Hogan. I think Hogan was that guy at that time. And if you're, I'm going to show age now. If you're born in that mid to late 80s or even early 80s, Hulkamania was running wild. So, that was the one. First pay-per-view I fully remember has to be a Rumble, probably Rumble 91 or 92. But I always remember seeing SummerSlam 92 and being like, "Oh my God, they're in London." That was mad. Randomly turned on to Sky to seeing that as well. So those were the two main pay-per-views that I could really remember. First favorite match. That's a mad one. Do you know? It's not involving Hogan. I think it might be Bret Hart Piper. Probably that one over the IC title was one of the first matches I'm thinking rah, this was a crazy match.
So that must have been your first time seeing blood as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in the wrestling ring. Yeah, that was mad. It was all over the place. I was shocked and scared, but taken in as well. Yeah, that was a big. Yeah, no, you say it. Yeah, it was.
Damn. Wow. Cool. So Den, man, I'm going to ask you the same question. How did you first get into wrestling? Where did it start for you, man?
Well, back in my school days, I'm a bit older than these other guys. Wrestling wasn't cool. So all my friends kept pushing me. Leon, I remember you, bro. Not the one in our group, but another Leon. Bro, there's a show coming up. You need to watch it. And he gave me a VCR with all the WrestleManias up to where it was, just for me to get into it. And I watched a bunch of old WrestleMania videos. I was like, and I really loved it. I think I still got the tape somewhere because you don't return them stuff. I watched it and I fell in love with it from then. But it was just one of them dark secret. You don't tell people this. You like it because back then it was it's not real, right? And go, shut up. But it was really more then, or dumb enough to think it was. Not but it was one of them ones where you just young kids, man, can't wait, and that was it. That's what got me into it. And then having Sky means I can watch everything. And then watching Lex Luger walk over onto the other show, that moment got me fully into wrestling. 100%. Every episode of Nitro I've watched.
Wow. So you're really a WWE guy. Cool.
WCW guy.
A WCW guy, that's it. Sorry. So who was it like your main wrestler at the start, man? And what would you say was your first real pay-per-view or match that you really got into?
Nice and simple. I know this one 100%. It was Warrior. Yes, I was a Warrior fan because if you didn't love him, you're mad. That music hit, you run into the ring, the shaking the ropes. I know it's John Cena, but that's who I loved. I was young, I was a kid. They told me who to love. Surprisingly, I never liked Hogan until he became heel. I wasn't into him that much. I was Warrior fan. So my actual best match I watched him when I first started watching it was Warrior versus Macho King. And that match with the 5 elbow drops and then they get up. What should I do? I mean, I was a little idiot. Hype. Hype for that. So yeah, I'm old school WWE, like old school. And then I was like watching the New Age, and Shawn Michaels became my guy. And that's it, still is my guy. Glad I got to meet him as well. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Cool,
That's amazing, man. So Big Tone, how did you first come into wrestling, man? Where did it start for you, bro?
Well, my story is actually a bit more drawn out, man, because again, when I was young, yeah, like early 90s, of course, everyone's seen Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan is on TV, he's in movies, he's on action figures, he's even got a Saturday morning cartoon. So the fascination starts there. But yeah, I'll be honest, man, coming up was financially challenged. So I had no Sky, I didn't have anything like that. So I could watch a bit of WCW on Saturday afternoons. Remember they used to come on then?
Yeah.
But then, like, it wasn't really until the late 90s, yeah, the first pay-per-view I actually remember fully was No Way Out 1997. Yeah, I loved that pay-per-view, man. It's one of my all-time favorites. And then, like, well, behold, a couple of years later, they start putting it on Channel 4. Yeah, like Backlash, all the pay-per-views, and Sunday Night Heat. Now, that's when I started watching religiously, because coincidentally, afterwards, we got Sky. Yeah. And I remember going back to 1997, and the guy who just also had me fascinated was Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. You seen in him just coming there, tearing it up, stunning people, the ovation, the glass breaking, everything. It was just magic. But coming back now to like the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah, it was The Rock. The Rock brought me in, and like The Rock is my guy. I know he's a bit of a pariah at the moment for some, but for me, man, The Rock has and will always be my guy.
Wow, that's incredible, man. That's incredible. Wow. So again, a second round of questions, really.
Wait. Was 1 second.
His favorite wrestler, bro.
Whoa. That's The Rock. I was just paying homage to your guy.
Love that.
Go on.
Cool.
How about y'all?
Yeah, we want to hear your story. Same questions.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'll kick this one off then. Me again, man. Probably showing my age a little bit, but I came in like late 80s, man. I remember being at family's house and seeing this Survivor series and just being like fascinated with the Warrior, man. Ultimate Warrior was the guy. He was electric. Like, only later in life you realize he wasn't actually a good wrestler. he had that it factor, man, and it was like he came out the screen. It was like he was a superhero, you know. He just the face paint, the tassels, the shaking on the ropes, the way he just come in and destroy a guy in like 2 minutes and then be out, you know. So that was a guy for me right in the early days, man. And then seeing him get defeated by Sergeant Slaughter and just being in shock, like how could they do this to the Warrior, you know? So that was kind of the entry point for me, man. that again, Rumbles was always my preferred pay-per-views. I just found them exciting. Royal Rumble 92 was kind of like the first pay-per-view for me. I remember my uncle recording that on VHS, and it's interesting that a pay-per-view that was like my favorite then has stood up today as being still one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. You know, it was incredible. Like the commentary, the star power, the story that they told, you know, and I was gripped, man. So that was really the match for me. My favorite wrestler kind of evolved from the Ultimate Warrior to Bret Hart. I was a Bret Hart guy. So in the early days, before there was an ECW, Bret Hart was my guy.
Nice.
Man, we were like this. And you went with the Brett. We were,
I'm saying a Sean guy and a Bret guy.
Well, you lot are fucking old, man. I was still in my dad's ball sack in the 80s, man. Just imagine this hat being white and me just swimming in there trying to finish my story. You get me? That's what happened. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't fuck with him now, but like back then, as a little youth, I think it was Hulk Hogan. So we had some free illegal cable my dad had or some shit. But I remember, I remember the channel. It was like 67, and Nitro would come on. And the first thing I saw, probably a few things I saw in like passing, but the first wrestling image I saw was Hulk Hogan hospitalized. This is before probably the heel turn, or maybe not. I don't know, but he's in red and yellow. He's hospitalized, and he's in the main event in a 6-man tag. So you can guess what happened at the end. I just see this man who's been like, you know, discombobulated, come out of the ambulance, stuff. Fuck this! I'm gonna help my friends, and I'm like, oh shit, this shit's lit! Wow. And then we moved up like the Jeffersons, and my dad got Sky, or the family got Sky, and I was actually sad. I was like, fuck, there's no WCW on Sky, so shit. So I caught my first ever pay-per-view, which was with the main event was with that, you know, the dickhead Vince McMahon and Triple H in the main event. It's okay to call him a dickhead, obviously. Yeah, sorry for any sponsors deals I'm gonna get, man. I'll just say what I think.
it's all good, man.
All right, cool. So yeah, Vince McMahon versus Triple H, the main event, Armageddon, 1999, probably, before the run where he went against Foley, which was his best rivalry, but where Stephanie turned heel on her dad, you know, in the middle of the ring. And I was like, oh shit, I want to know what happens next week. You know what I mean? So I didn't, even though like Stone Cold is probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, because, you know, people busting up their bosses is just always fun to watch. I never actually got to watch the era. I had to go back, watch all the pay-per-views. And when he came back, it was like one of the most exciting moments as a wrestling fan. But I think his return at Backlash was one of my favorite moments as a wrestling fan, to help The Rock win the title. Because I was just like waiting to see Stone Cold, because you know what I mean? Yeah, I think that answers all your questions.
Nice.
That's how I started. Yeah.
Wicked, man.
Let me just ask you a question on that. Just play off that just a little bit. Yeah. You see when at Backlash, when that glass broke and you hear that ovation, what did you feel? Yeah, just waiting to see Stone Cold, and that was a big moment.
When that happened, because it was just like, you know, back in the day, if you had a cool mum, and shout on my mums, yeah. Big up mums, because like my mum, yeah, knew how much we love wrestling. She would like wake up, press the record button, like we set everything up, but she'd press the record button and then go back to bed for us so we can watch it after school. So like, my mum used to do that for a pay-per-view, and that was sick. So we didn't know what the fuck happened because we didn't have internet back then. So we're all we get back from school, you know, me and my brother, are eating fucking turkey dinosaurs. I called them chicken dinosaurs back then because man was stupid. And and the glass broke here, and me and my brother like looked, and he looked at me, and he was just so happy for me because he loved Kane. He was a Kane guy, yeah. And he looked at me, and I just went, you know what I mean? And I got up and I just went, fuck yeah! I probably swore. My mum was like, what? I'm never recording this shit again for you. I never wanted a beer so bad. It's probably like, you know what I mean? I was bred young. I couldn't drink beer, but it was like, damn, man, I want to fucking do the same shit and just like, you know? That's beer, audience members who are not wrestling fans. Yeah, that's how it felt. It was just like a real cool moment to share with my little brother, and my little brother brought me back to wrestling in 2014. Actually,
Nice.
yeah.
You know, we'll talk about that. These lot are trying to bring me back to wrestling right now. I'll be real. I'm the guy that fell off hard. I'm the UFC fan. I went when wrestling went away. When I actually went. John Cena messed up for me. Right? I got sick of John Cena. And I had to leave because it became just like WWE was just doing their own thing, and I got sick of it. And I just started watching UFC, and then I just stopped. I still read about what's going on, but I stopped watching the product. But then 2020, actually, I got back into it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
What during the pandemic?
Nah, it was at the end of the pandemic.
Ah.
During the pandemic, I started watching a bit because I fell in love with this with my favorite wrestler right now, and they're not gonna be my favorite wrestler. And I'm still talking in the group. Everyone's chatting about Cody and Rock, and I'm just constantly talking about why aren't they giving Bailey a shine? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Babe, I thought you were gonna say R-Truth. I was gonna go, my guy. You know what I mean?
No, R-Truth. Yeah.
So that's
great.
So that's like post hugging Bailey, man. So what was it about Bailey?
No. I knew because it was just gonna get. Must have was reading about it from then. So then I started watching this product called NXT, and it felt different. It felt like a real wrestling show. Like, you know, the lights was lit, down, like old 80s style wrestling show, and early 90s. That's what it felt like. And I started watching it, and this hugger character came out, and I wasn't really a fan of her at first. But every match was having the underdog story, which is now being told by everyone else now, which everyone's following that. That was being told with the Bailey story. Like, you know, can she get a win? And she doing that coy stuff. Like, I want to, and I was like, yep, come on. And then when she gets mad and she goes nuts, I was like, yeah. And her versus Sasha Banks was like, Sasha made the little girl cry. I love that. But yeah, I just love that. She's one of the people that I always said I could never see Bailey becoming a heel, and then she became a heel and was good as a heel.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked. So yeah, that's what really got me back. It was Bailey, and that was it. Them not keep going on because I'm an ass man. So everyone's going on like, you know, yeah, that's why I like Bailey. I went, that helps, but that's not fully it.
Right. You must be happy that Naomi's back, right?
Yo,
I didn't even know he was talking about booty yet. I thought he was about to break into Billy Gunn's song. Like, I'm an ass. I know.
I was trying to break it to make it say that, but without sounding like I'm talking about like, you know, physical assets about people. You know, I'm trying to make it nice and like, I love your personality. Damn, look at that personality bent over. I mean,
I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. So you must be glad that she won the Rumble then, right?
I was. Look, if you ask these lot, I always pick Bailey in every woman's match unless there's a blonde in the match. A certain blonde. You know who I'm talking about. If she's in the match, she's going to win. But if Bailey's in there, I'm picking Bailey. And every single time, Bailey lost. And this one time, she won. Woke me up at the Royal Rumble. Yep, that's it. Everyone's getting tired. I was wide awake. So yeah. I'm
See,
glad.
when we was at the watch along party in Box Park, I was wondering, man, there was some screaming coming from behind me. I was thinking, where's that from? And then now I know.
Trust me, it can only be him. Like, don't get me wrong.
Still gone. Voice still gone.
Amazing, man. So AJ, did you ever have a period where you fell out of wrestling and came back, or has it been constant?
So here's the funny thing. It's like very similar to Big Tone's thing. Like, Sky wasn't always available. You see it? So as much as I was into it, I couldn't do it. Now, earlier when Si was talking about his mum getting up, pressing the record button, I remember one time, because I would like be in it, lose it, come back in, come back out. And I remember one time I'd always go to my grandparents and do a thing. Now I'm going to show something that's a bit old school as well. Anyone remember Video Plus, where you just put in a little code and it will record the show for you at that hour?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
VCR,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm showing my age on that one. Now that works if you're on channel 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. It doesn't work if you're on Sky. Now, my grandmother, God bless her soul, was a very religious woman. Now, I remember the Survivor series that The Rock went heel. You remember that one where he joined the corporation?
Yeah,
I had
Deadly
set
Game.
it and I left it on Sky Sports. I'm like, banging, I can't wait to go and get this video. Try no, she turned it to the Christian channel. So all I remember was like the beginning to this show, and then it turned over, and I'm like, please tell me they turned it back. Please tell me they turned it back. And it just didn't come back. I was hearing it, and again, no internet. So I'm hearing it from my boys, like, yo, Rock. And the funny thing is, for me, it was so mad because I'm in and out. I knew him as Rocky Maivia. Going to my grandparents' house, I saw him turn on Ahmed Johnson and become The Rock. And then apparently he went face. I'm like, when did he go face? And now I'm hearing like, he's about to turn. I didn't even get to see it till years later because I was seeing Creflo Dollar or Benny Hill like on my tape, bro. So yeah, in terms of like physically losing it, I was always in tune, and I would hear something like, big up my cousin. I'm going to call him by his Graham name because I'm not going to give out his government. Hyperfen. He was a brer who the videos were stacked. So even though I might not catch a Raw or a Superstars or something, he had all the pay-per-views on Smash. He would record them. We were always talking. I was always playing, like, whether it be on a Mega Drive or a Super Nintendo. I was always in tune, but I've always like kind of lost like stories, but always been in there. So I can't really say I've been out of it too tough.
Right. Okay, man. A Big Tone. Was there a period where you was out of it?
No. I'm that guy that literally watched everything from when I started. I just continued to watch it. I watched some very obscure stuff that like no one else watches. Like our group is an interesting group, isn't it? We've got different levels of watch, and the most avid watchers is me and Zimzy, the other Leon, yeah. And like I watched it all, man. Like I was probably one of the most upset people when ECW died and WCW died, because again, it was just WWE, man, the only game in town, yeah. And sometimes you wasn't always happy with them. So with the rise of Ring of Honor and TNA, you know, that hold me over. But then, like, you know, in the late, like the last decade, yeah, when we started coming towards the end and you started getting all these other shows pop up, your NWAs, your MLWs and everything. You know, we're in the golden content of wrestling, man. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, man. And wrestling is very much a multiverse with a lot of crossover. Yeah.
Right.
And because again, I watched it straight all the way through from when I was able to, man. Again, I've been able to see it all, man. So yeah.
Right. So let me go on, Del.
I just want to clarify one thing. When I said I dropped out, I didn't fully 100% dropped out. I was still the smart, like, you know, the internet wrestling fan. So I still get the knowledge of stuff. I still knew what was going on. I just wasn't watching Raw and SmackDown every single week. But I still went to WrestleManias. I still, went to every start watching TNA. I went to every show I could in the UK. I still did that, but I just didn't watch the product at all. Like, I just knew I could read the story going, that's what's happening. Cool, move on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
So let's talk about that, man. So what was the experience like then the first time you went from like watching the product on TV to actually watching it in person? And what was that experience like for you?
My first time I went to a show was it was a Raw. I started to work at this venue because I'm a sound engineer. I'm more than a sound engineer. I wasn't just a sound engineer then. And I had this other guy who was interested. And you know what usually happens? On your own, you don't really care. You find someone else that watch it and you start talking about it like, you know, you watch everything. So then me and him started chatting about it a lot. And then there was November, there was a Raw coming up. And he's like, yeah, you want to go to O2 and go to Raw? I was like, yo, let me go. But, you know, I'm still in that mindset of like, I can't go. This is for kids. So I was like, let me grab my little nephew and bring him with me. So I'm taking him where deep down, you know, I want to go. So I took him, my brother brought his brother. we went to the show, and then when it finished, because we got some good seats, we were all hype and went, "You want to go WrestleMania?" I went, "Yeah, let's go WrestleMania." And then we just bought tickets to WrestleMania on the way home from there, and it was WrestleMania 24. Wait, which one was it with Shawn Michaels and what's his name?
Taker.
No, before that, Shawn Michaels
Cena?
and Flair. 24.
Yeah, 24.
So
So
Randy,
24,
and,
so
Randy
20
and Triple H in the main event.
No. That was the next
was
one, man.
25.
That was the next. That 25. I went 25 as well, and then I went 26 as well. But
Wow.
yeah, what's it called? I started because I decided I was gonna tour America. I was gonna go to every WrestleMania, but really I'm just going to the city and then watch a WrestleMania. But got bored after the third one. But
Can I just say something to piss you off? Because I'm quite jealous you went to all those WrestleManias. I was there for the Bailey Sasha Banks match at Takeover. I just want to let you know that and digest that.
well done, bro. Enjoy your small arena.
Sorry, continue. My bad.
But the buzz from being at a show, as you can say, just let me drop a couple £1,000 because it was like, you want to go Mania? Want to go Mania? Yeah, on the way back. He's on the bus, on the train. Message, I got 5 tickets. Sweet, yeah. I can find people. We never find anyone. We end up going just us and spread out.
I really wish I
And
knew
then-
that.
Yeah.
It got to the point on a brethren here, Simsy, he's the one I knew from back in school. And I know him from Facebook that he was really into wrestling. And because I had extra tickets and I had a bit more money back then, like quite a lot more money back then, I was like, bro, you want to go to Mania? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I'm paid for everything and I've already got the ticket. And he's like, no, I can't go. And I was like, well, all right, cool. And I was going to pay for flight and everything like that. So guy never came. The second year, bro, do you want to go? I've got extra tickets again. No. I was like, cool, I'm not asking you then. So done. Man had a flight. And we were going the third time. We went to Vegas and then drove to Phoenix. So we're going to go Vegas for like 3 days. And then we're going to drive to Phoenix and then go to Mania and then go back to Vegas. And he's like, no. And I was like, fine. So
I like how
ask
you
him,
do
man, you
Mania,
know what?
bro.
I know Leon that entire time. I'm gonna ask him why he never shot me your number.
But look, I'm broke now,
finding out who
man.
your
I ain't
real
got no money.
friends
I'm broke now. I don't have no money. I'm going to small independent show. Like, man, I can afford a t-shirt. I live like I was gonna die, and I don't afford my money. So yeah, don't matter. But yeah.
Wow. So what was that experience like going to your first WrestleMania, man, and seeing that massive like stadium?
Right, I give you this. First WrestleMania I went to, it was just live, like being around, like, you know, you go to the O2, you're around fans, and you're like, yeah, I'm around fans, but going around fans, like everywhere you go, everyone's a fan. Someone scream out, woo! You know, the entire place out screaming it out. You're on the plane and you're talking about what's coming up. How can this happen? What it was just, you're buzzing the entire time. It was so. And then the best part about it, every Mania I went to, I sat down with the UK fans. So I was with the loud, obnoxious, crazy, can't swear people. It made it so much fun that you automatically wanted to go back. Up until 26, I sat with the Americans, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm done now. But it was when I sit with them, you know what it's like when you go to a show and you just get live and get reckless and just act dumb. It was that. And it was one night. It wasn't 2 nights. It wasn't like constant. Actually, the next night was Raw. You had to go to Raw after because the Raw after Mania back then as well was awesome. And then you see the person I was a big fan of, Shawn Michaels. You saw match of the night, then retire the next night. It was wonderful. I want these lot to experience it so bad that I went to 39, but only one of the member of my thing. So I went back again in 39. WrestleMania 39. Yeah, I couldn't care less about that one.
Man,
because of Cody.
Yeah.
He didn't finish the story.
No,
rubber chicken. Mad.
no, it was just the atmosphere. The first night, the atmosphere was live, electric. The second night, they took the wind out the sail, like, you know, when everyone left dead.
Wow.
And that feeling sat with you, like you feel like, why the hell did I come here? And then literally these lot had to tell me that at your card was good. It was a good card. I don't remember any match on the card because after that finish, the air got sucked out the stadium, and everyone's like just got up and walked in silence.
You know what?
It
I
was
can
a mark,
actually,
just
I can actually relate because I was at Mania 33. No, it was a different feeling. But when Roman beat like The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, it felt like, even though it was such a spectacle, even though people went to TakeOver, even though it was in Florida, it was beautiful weather, everyone's just going nuts. But it did feel like the whole room just got sucked. And everyone just said, what the fuck? After they laughed at, the Bray Wyatt projector thing. But like but then obviously Undertaker lied to us. He's a liar. He just
one more match.
Yeah, he stripped. I was dressed like the Undertaker. So when he did the striptease, I didn't start stripping. But I left the hat that I wore in Florida as a symbol of like salute. And then he come back next year. I was like, you pagan, get me. But like,
get my hat back, bruv. You owe me a hat.
Then we could go to lost property, innit?
Yeah. and even the finish, my first SummerSlam, the finish between it's always fucking Undertaker and Brock, yeah, when it just ended in a after, and everyone was just like, wait, what? Do you know what I mean? So I've experienced two quite big events, a main event where it's just been everyone's just looking at each other like, is that what the fuck? Is that it? Do you know what I mean? So I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yo, but for real, going from that, sorry everyone, we just me chatting now. You can just watch us. Yo, one of the things when 25 when Shawn Michaels versus Taker, when that match happened, and it wasn't the main event. When I mean everyone was done cheering and chanting, everyone sat down and was like, is it over now? Then there was the Triple H and Orton. No one cared. That was most silent. If you watch it on TV and there's sound, that's all fake. Everyone was dead. Everyone sat there just like this. Can you just be over? No one cared. And
that is on record. That is on record that Triple H and Orton both knew. They were like, that's not fair for us to follow up. They knew they were finished. They knew they were finished.
And I
was just going to say, you know what's interesting? I just saw what Edge said about the match when Ric Flair retired against Shawn. Edge didn't watch the match. He was backstage because he was main eventing with The Undertaker that at WrestleMania 24. If I'm not mistaken. So he said, I didn't fucking watch the match. I didn't want to see the crowd. I wanted to stay focused and not try to compare or let it influence what I do in the ring with The Undertaker. So I think that was a bit more positively received. And just an interesting strategy.
That probably does make a lot of sense, actually, because their match went on. Yeah, that's
but it was done against the match. It was the biggest build of the That was the biggest build of the night. That Taker. They went to his house with Randy Orton broke his house and all that. Yeah, it was the main attraction, but it's just the fact that everyone was cheering so much. Because remember when Taker dived out the ring, everyone just thought to himself, Taker's gonna win, Shaw's gonna lose, who cares? And we sat there, and then the match started, and then Taker dived out the ring, but he didn't get caught, and he landed on his head. He spiked himself, and everyone thought, shit, he's injured, it's over. But then the match kept going, so then it started people over again, and it built and built and built and built, and by the end of it, your energy was gone. It was like your energy was you wanted to cheer, but you couldn't.
Wow. You know what? You say that. I actually remember watching it, and I was thinking the same thing. So if you're there live, it's probably even worse because you were the guys that were screaming. But even sitting there at home, I was so elated after watching that match that I was thinking, Orton Triple H, I really care about this. Like, no, it wasn't even close.
Wow. Scan, I know you got a question you want to ask, but I have to bring it at that match as well because that is one of my possibly my all-time favorite match. Now, being at home, and this is after everyone else has left wrestling, I remember this is the one and only time in my life I have stood up in a house on my own to clap because I said that match deserves a standing ovation. It didn't matter who was around me, what was happening. When that match finished, I remember standing up in my yard. I remember bucking off my blanket. I went, yeah, you man, yeah, that was a match. That was a match. Man. Yeah.
So do you feel they topped it with Hunter and Taker in Hell in a Cell?
Shawn helped.
Look, Here's the thing. I love Sean. I love Sean. I love everything that he's done. And to me, to define an era, it's that. But I still think the greatest match was Taker Sean. Hunter's good. Hunter's like I'm a Sean guy through and through.
Right.
That was an end of an era match, but greatest match, I don't do that match at 25. That's my opinion on that one.
Not the greatest, but that moment where the super kick into the pedigree, and then the 1, 2 kick out, hold his face. I'm like, yo, that moment was the moment of it's gonna be broken. They're gonna break the streak. By the way, what do y'all think? Should they have never broken the streak? That streak should still be there, right?
Let's be honest. I'll say
Bray Wyatt. Sorry, go on.
No, I'll say it on record. If he didn't get a concussion and he didn't know that if he was still on planet Earth at that moment, he would have kicked out, he would have beaten Brock, and the streak wouldn't have ended. Stuff all this VKM saying I planned it. No, they did. And by the time it was moved over, they're like, oh, let's pass the torch to Roman. Ideally, I agree. It should have been Bray if you were to pass it, but they wouldn't have passed it. It wasn't going to be ended. That's my view anyway.
Is that what you
should
think?
have been
That's actually a really hot take.
100%.
I haven't heard that before, honestly. In all the wrestling podcasts or what's the IWC? That's what they call all
The
these shows,
IWC, yeah.
the Internet Wrestling Community. Or cunts.
Oh, look at you.
One of them.
Look at you, lot. We were just called smarks back in the days.
Oh yeah, yeah, to a degree still, man. So AJ, I want to ask you, man, what was your first experience of seeing wrestling live, and what was that like for you?
Oh, so first experience has to be. I remember it. My dad was like, "You're still into the wrestling?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "What would you do, Raw or SmackDown?" Now, again, going back to me being Sean and Taker, like I am Sean through and through, and I'm like, I need to see Taker live, but there's no way I'm missing Sean. And I went for, I think it was 2008, and the main event was Triple H, Edge, and Cena versus the Spirit Squad. And that was a mad moment in Wembley. That was, listen, if there's a moment to say that you were really grateful for, that had it all. You had Shelton Benjamin, you had RVD, I had Triple H. Sean dove off of the flipping thing into Shane for a table. Like, it had all the moments. Umaga came out, Ric Flair came back. Like, we didn't think of that. They recorded Heat before it, so I got to see Big Show and Kane. I remember being quite far back. Big Show saying, shh, slapping this jobber, and you heard it, and you were like, Ross! That has got to hurt, because if I heard it from back there, I can only imagine what his skin feels like. Kane's pyro and seeing them with the broom sweeping off all the bits. It was a mad moment, but it also hurts me for that moment because my younger brother was my ride or die in wrestling before I met anyone else. He was in it. I remember us throwing up the Hardy Boy signs, every wrestling game from Attitude, Warzone Attitude, even Cop to 64 to watch, to play No Mercy. Greatest game ever.
Wow. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just bring it, all of them. We've done it all.
Right.
He goes, bro, it looks too fake. I can't do it no more. And that's the day I lost my brother as a wrestling fan.
Wow.
That was the day I lost my brother. He legit can't watch it. We go to like independent shows and that, and I got one just around the corner from me in Boreham Wood. Big up CJ and Ignite, and I brought him to that, and he was like, "You know what? It's mad, bro, because that looked more realistic than them man were doing back on Raw, and it's mad to think of it back then." One of the golden moments I do appreciate though, didn't get an autograph or anything. We were trying to figure out like, right, can we see any superstars and who's going to come out? And we were near the car park where all the coaches come out. And RVD, who was Mr. Money in the Bank, I think at the time, came out, and I couldn't even remember what he said, but he was saying something, and you could just about hear him, and then he gave it the whole RVD. The whole UK fans are shouting RVD with him as well. It was Rob Van Dam, so it was hard. And then we saw the coach coming out like rated R, shouting to Edge. But that was a mad moment. It's bittersweet. To this day, my brother can't watch a wrestling show like he used to.
Mad. Oh man, wow.
Tell him to watch a Gunther match. That's who I like. When I try to bring someone in, I just show him a fucking Gunther match. You know what I mean? One person got intrigued, and it's an underrated match. Everyone forgets about it, but Miro versus Hobbs, slapping meat, bro. That match is fucking amazing. I show someone that shit, and they watch Raw now. It's fantastic.
That's wild, man. That's wild, man. Yeah. So the same question to Big Tone, man. What was your first experience of seeing wrestling live, man, and how did it affect you?
Well, you know what? that was actually thanks and facilitated by none other than Mr. Den the Tech. It is mad, yeah, that I've watched wrestling for years and religiously as well, but I just never got round to going to it live, mainly because me and my dad were like the wrestling fans, innit, yeah. And I guess it's just something that we're ready for to do. Yeah, but it's only when I got involved with this group, Ministry of Wrestling, that then was like saying for ages, we need to go to a show. We need to go to a show. We need to see it live because he's seen it live so many times. Yeah. So he took matters into his own hands. And when they come to the O2, then brought us around the tickets and said, we're going to the show. Ever since he's done that now, it's like he's lit a fuse under the entire group, man. And like, man, we had to go to all of the shows after that, man. Wow. We went to the very next live. We went to Clash at the Castle. Went to Money in the Bank. Yeah, it's up in the air whether we're gonna go to the next live, but we probably are. And then, like, not to mention the bunch of indie shows. Some guys even done like TNA. Yeah, and you know, we all did All In, and we're doing All In again this year, man. And like, there's just nothing like being there live, man. It's all good, and it's quite surreal watching it on TV, and then like seeing it right in front of your eyes as well. I tell you what, though, I feel the more pure experience, shall we say, is going to these indie shows, especially ones like Red Pro. Yeah, I'm literally going to the toilet, yeah, and I just see chilling in the corner none other than Zack Sabre Jr. I go later, I see chilling watching a match, Ishii. Yeah, I literally watched ECE on TV yesterday. But you literally just walking past them because they're just there. Yeah, and not to mention like the meet and greet that we went to as well. That was an absolute classic because Will Ospreay just happened to get punched in the face by Gabe Kidd. Yeah. Now at the time, we did not know this was an angle. That seemed as real as it could get because, like I said, he come out there. He didn't give him no wrestling punch. Yeah. No hollow open hand thing. No, we punched him in the face. His lip was bleeding. My man had to go away and reset for 10 minutes. And when he come back, he had the look of somebody who's been punched. Yeah, you had that look on their face, like you can't smile, you're fake smiling, but you're fuming inside. But you know, that was all for the fans who pay for the meet and greets benefit. It was literally for them. Because again, obviously, we find out pretty soon afterwards at work, innit? Because we go to the stand there. Who the hell was that? Oh, it's the guy who's fighting in the main event. Oh, okay, all right. But man, like I said, man, nothing beats going to these live shows, yeah. Whether it's the big arenas with everyone screaming and you just trying to get your little chance going. In fact, we did it? Yeah, like for the first live event we went to.
Second.
But, Roman Reigns, innit? We was acknowledging our tribal chief. He was very much Roman Reigns orientated there. And like we started the chant, man. AJ, what was the chant?
Oh, this is a nuts one. So we were there. This is the second show. So Den's done one and we've said it. And we got just a bit closer to the ring in that. Roman's in the main event. Now we've been cheering because that card was banging enough that it could have been pay-per-view worthy. And I remember I was like, Keith Lee's all right, but we need to do head of the table. And I tried to do it, but my voice went. I was like, oh, but my boy Nick, Double V, he knew that was it, and he went for it. He's like, head of the table. Bro, before you knew it, we had the whole O2 doing it. Now, sadly, I don't have, actually, do I have it or do I not have it? No, I don't have it. There's a part where you can see where we're recording. And Roman, I don't know how or why, I decided to zoom in. At the minute I've done that, you see Roman Reigns look at us and wave his hand just like that to the chant. It was the biggest night in like ministry history. We lost everything that time.
I have to like tell you a story. I mean, I wish I did something else now, but me and my friend went to go see a premiere of like another shit movie The Rock made. I think it was called Rampage or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The one.
I mean, look, he some of his movies he's been okay, but he's made some shit
None
movies.
of his movies been good.
And you see, I was being nice. Den said it, but like, Yeah, me and my friends started a Rocky chant. Like all these people who came to watch Rampage, these fucking weirdos who didn't watch wrestling. We're the only one going, Rocky, Rocky. And he looks at me like, you know, after what he did, well, actually, I'm happy with what he did now. But if you asked me 2 weeks, Scanduce knows I was fuming. I wish I threw my fucking popcorn at him. You know what I mean? So we want Cody, bitch. But like, actually, when we do move on to content, but kudos to The Rock. Like, I've got a lot of nice things to say for him to actually swerve. You know what I mean? With everything going on, with all the agreements, he did actually go onto this heel angle, which I think I'm even more intrigued than if he wasn't involved at all in the actual story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but when we move on to that, go ahead.
Yeah. So before we get on to the current product, man, I do want to ask you guys, tell us about the origin of the Ministry of Wrestling. Like, how did this begin, man? Can I start with you, AJ? Because you seem like you're the
yeah. How did the ministry? So kind of like then all of it. So the key factor to this is one guy by the name of Double V, Simsy, our current ministry champion. Now, the funny thing is, before I started doing what I'm doing, I used to work in events and whatnot. His mum happens to be a singer. So my mum would be doing events and his mum's always singing. So we're bucking up into each other all the time. And we're just seeing each other. But we're just like, yeah, you're right, bro. And cool, move on. But you know how Facebook is. After a certain while, you start to see people like people you may know. And I'm like, all right, let me just add this brother. Boy, like politeness, isn't it? I've seen him enough times. I might be on his recommended. And I press the add friend. And I swear to you, like, as much as I'm a wrestling fan, Leon lives this stuff. Like, Leon lives it. Like, it's still real to me. Damn it. No disrespect when I say it, but it is that. Now, everything that Leon does, there's one thing that really showed me something. He said, like, my mum put on this event, and he came out. He was dressed nice, isn't it? And he goes, he's posted it up in his Facebook, styling, profiling, woo, or something. But she said, like, she didn't say woo. Suited and booted, styling and profiling. Wow, or something like that. And I said, that rings a bell. Where have I had that? That's Ric Flair. But I left it. Next minute, I'm seeing Leo's profile picture. Undertaker this. He's posting like he's a major Taker fan. I'm seeing Undertaker every other day as he's put a new profile picture. And I'm like, this guy's a wrestling fan. Now, to me, anyone who's a real wrestling fan has to acknowledge, whether you don't, I don't care what brand you're on, WrestleMania is the biggest thing in wrestling. So to me, I'm always hyped, I'm pumped, and I'm there. And I'm like, wow, anyone I know who's a wrestling fan, I just sent him a little message on Facebook. Yeah, enjoy Mania, bro. And that was it. Man replied to me. Because we didn't even really chat. We were just friends on Facebook. Man was like, you're a wrestling fan too. Now send me your number. And he's phoning me. And I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know him like this. And he's talking to me about all these old school bits and this, that, and the other. And then I think it was the time Shane McMahon came back. And we're like, what's going to happen? It was either Shane coming back or when they said it's either the cage match or just before that. Because I remember we were talking about who's going to run through Raw or who's going to run SmackDown because of that power struggle. And he just created this WhatsApp group. It was me and some other guy. For the reason that he left the group, I'm not going to mention his name because, yeah, it's a bit tricky right now. But he left the group. And then when we started debating, he's like, right, I'm going to add some other guys I know. And that came in Big Tone and then the Tech. Now, I swear to you, that WhatsApp group went from that into Instagram and Twitter. We kept talking about doing the YouTube thing, but that group ran for, and I'm not joking, maybe 2, if not 3 years without us even meeting each other. We would speak, and I would mute a lot of WhatsApp groups for some reason. And kind of like then, I watch the product, but I don't have time to watch it. Like Instagram is my weekly feed. And I'm like, but I'm chatting to these bros. Normally I'm muting groups. Why am I talking? We are bantering. We're talking World of Sport. We're talking NXT. We're talking New Japan. I didn't even watch half of these shows, but I'm like, this is interesting. Man, them I can relate to. And then, yeah, as I said, one man left. Nico, me and him went to school years back. So we've been friends for nearly 20-something years. I said, yeah, he moved to Thailand, come back. I'm like, bro, I'm talking wrestling with these guys. I said, I don't watch that no more. But he started hearing stuff. He watches more content than I do on a day-to-day basis now. So, and that's us.
Wow. Can I ask a follow-up question, Scanduce?
Go for it.
If you would be so kind. What's an occasion where you've really tried to unfriend a wrestling friend? You know, because some of them are a bit, you get me? Like their mum.
Bro, that might be a bit tricky in this current day and age.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People probably may have recognized you. Or
on a real,
AJ knows why I'm laughing.
I know why you're laughing.
there you go. I want that
on a real-
story.
on a real, I've never, like, here's the thing. On a real, I feel that one of the things that I've had to show, and this is no disrespect to anyone, we've had 101 people be like, oh, them t-shirts, they're banging. We went to a Progress show the other day. Man tapped me on my shoulder and like threw it up and wanted me to fizz it. I'm like, yeah, what's up? He threw it up and he's waiting for that NWO connection and that. We've got a lot of people who will be like, oh, can I get a t-shirt? Can I get this? And how can I follow you guys and XYZ? And I'm not bigging up our status in anything because I'm sure 95% of the Mega Powers listeners, watchers have no idea who the Ministry are. If you've been to a show, you've heard us. That's a fact. We're not quiet, but you don't know us like that. But people will like follow us and be like that. And it's when you start to say, "Can I be part of your?" And I'm not putting any man on blast when I say this. Like your WhatsApp group, or I want to be on the show. Like I'm all good for anyone being a guest or something, but I've had to keep it. Those 3 years of not even knowing each other built a brotherhood, and in our WhatsApp group, it's not just wrestling now. You like these guys were the first guys to ever hear that my granddad died. Like there are people on Facebook to this minute who don't know my granddad died. Do you know what I mean? So it became that. So it's not that I've ever unfriended anyone, but I've had to keep a little distance because yeah, it's weird.
Quick question.
Not everyone deserves to be on the island of relevancy. You get me?
Slightly.
So I want to know really big time, like, how am I friends with y'all? Because I was in a group from like day 2 and I only spoke, like, I don't speak. I'm the guy in the group that's just there. And then, yeah. And then I'm gone. Then, yeah.
So
I can answer that question. Yeah. It's
what?
exactly for that reason why you stood in the group, because some people spoke and they spoke themselves out the group, innit? So that's
Okay, wow.
We got subliminals in this podcast. Get everything in this shit, man. Come on.
Nah, for real though, I was in a group from
So the
so
funny
long.
thing, sorry, my
I never
internet's
chat to
just
these
mucking it about.
Go on. Oh no, I'll say this. Yeah, I was in the group for so long.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never chat with these ones because they talk about wrestling all the time, and I couldn't give 2 rats ass about it for quite some time. I absolutely have zero idea why I just started to engage, but one day I engaged into something like to talk about it. I think someone must have said something bad about someone I'm a fan of, and I was like, "What? Nah!" And I just jumped into that one conversation. And then AJ was like, "Raw." Then I see you typing, and then I started chatting to them. Like I never forget the time, the first time we decided to link up. Like them lot link up a couple of times ready to go watch a pay-per-view together, but I was never there. The first time I came to link up, I walked into the USL again, AJ's yard, and it's like, "Well, go on, bro," and we start chatting and blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? It's the first time we're actually meeting, you know. I'm like, "Oh yeah, shit. Well, go on, bro." And then like the time when Simsy's birthday. The first time I met you, Big Tone, Simsy's birthday, I turned up there and I was like at Blues Kitchen. I was like, yeah, I know the people, I know the owners and stuff like that. So I come down there. So I'm at Blues Kitchen, I'm chilling with y'all, and I'm just like, we're eating and just having catching joke and everything. And I was like, raw. And I see you and Nico just constantly talking about wrestling. And I'm like, you actually talk about wrestling in real life as well. Yeah, wrestling, yeah, there are real marks. I'm like, raw, I don't want you like that. I'm cool. I got to get out of here because you lot are kind of like a bit too much for me. And I left and I didn't talk again for a long time. But then when I'm chatting with these lot, as AJ said, it's for me, it's not about the wrestling. I know it's a wrestling group, but it's not about it. If you hear my catchphrase, I'm Den the Tech, the wrestling fan that doesn't watch wrestling. That's because I'm fans of these lot. I just want to be around them lot. I want to be part of a group with them lot. And that's what it is. So AJ was shot like, I've got tickets for the show. I don't watch it. I'm not a big fan, but I go there and I'm like, I'm with you. Like, I'm there. And when I'm there, what was the first thing I told you all about what you do when you get to a show? You own your section. And y'all own the section every time. And I act stupid. Right now, my throat is on fire. Come Sunday, I'm gonna go like not Monday. I ain't gonna be talking on Monday. I chat a lot already, but Monday I ain't gonna chat nothing. So yeah. I'm in this group because of these lot, just for the friendship part of it, because these are true friends. It's not about
That's-
wrestling for me right now. It's the friendship.
That's dope, man.
That's dope. So Big Tone, man, where did the name Ministry of Wrestling come from?
Well, as AJ was saying, innit? What's it? Simsy is the ultimate Undertaker fan. Yeah, like literally, that is his guy. We all have guys in wrestling, yeah, but his consistently is the Undertaker, man. There's no other person for him than the Undertaker. So one of the greatest factions of the Undertaker, of course, is the Ministry of Darkness. Yeah. So just as a throwaway thing, yeah, typing in our WhatsApp group, and like making that group, he just named it Ministry of Wrestling. And you know what? It stuck. It stuck. And basically, I don't know when we adopted the whole NWO gimmick. That's probably when we printed off the like t-shirts. You just for that. It's
So
literally
I
been a
can't
shit.
answer.
I know when that is as well.
Yeah, go
I
on.
can't answer that. The funny thing behind that is I've always seen it, but didn't want to say anything because I was like, we want to do something. Now, on the other side of what I do is short plug if you don't mind, Silver Screen Dudes. Me and Nico talk films all the time. We got to do a pod. We got to do a pod. We got to do a pod. And that's how like the pod started kicking off. And then he goes, bro, something's hit me. We're MOW. You really like the NWO. What if I do that? And he's kind of like taken the NWO logo and done the best Photoshop he could at that given time and created an MOW logo. And that's what we had. But then out of nowhere, it just became bigger and better. Like I remember I got these stuff printed and they were terrible t-shirts. They were terrible t-shirts, but it was about the advertising. And then I needed to get a new brand printed out. And my new guy hooked us up for it, and he just redesigned it. So I don't know if you can see it, but like there's a funny shape on the O on it. And that's when we were like, that's the logo we're running with. That's what we're doing. And yeah, that's who we are. And that's where
no
we're at.
caveat to that story. If you remember those first batch of t-shirts, yeah, that was actually my t-shirt was this. Yeah, because like they didn't have my size there at first.
Yeah.
For the ones that you printed. And then you was looking at my t-shirt, you're looking at your t-shirts, and like, yo, your one is a lot better. So next time we got all printed in it for these ones, and this is the logo. This is our logo to this day.
Wow, so that's dope, man. So you mentioned there being a Ministry of Wrestling champion. So are you guys more than just a podcast? Are you an actual wrestling promotion as well?
And just to jump on that as well, why when you shouted at the champion, you did that? Why did you do that?
Right, because I lost. I don't like losing. What happened? It's just a prediction thing. It's not real. We don't do the wrestling. We don't do the bumps. It's just a prediction show. We're just predicting who's thing. So for years, them lot were doing it beforehand. You had Nico and AJ, y'all doing it on your own, and they were going back and forth, and then everyone did it together. And then I won, hands down. I don't care if you're in the lead and it stops, you're the winner. So I won, and I'm a terrible. People got like I'm a bad loser. I'm a bad winner. I rub it in your face for 1 year, and I kept going on for 1 year. But then last year I lost bad. This year I'm losing bad. I'm getting destroyed. Right. So we did it usually like it was back when you would pick, we all make a prediction and whoever got the most matches right win 1 point. That's all it was. But you get me involved and it's now 4 points for first, 3 points for second, 2, 1. And if you get nothing, you get 0. If you get a clean sweep, you get a bonus point. So we did that, and I've got a scoreboard and everything like that. They're just going over the time just to get a fully winner. Right now, we got Big Tone in the lead, but only by 1 point over AJ. And then he's like 5 points in front of Simsy and Nico. They're joined. And then I'm way back at 20 points behind everyone. Because I'm going to predict something I don't watch. If Vince McMahon's not booking, I can't get it right.
Do you guys do forfeits? The loser has to, like, I don't know, get
That's
kicked
what
in the nuts? Something like that?
See, I'm the loser. I'm losing. So I'm saying it to them like from right now. The loser has to do a forfeit. And I'm the loser, and I'm the one saying I went. But what we do is I don't really want to do a forfeit, but we're gonna have to. So I said to them, look, how about all of you lot, all 4 of you, each make a forfeit, and then I'm gonna pick one. So that way I don't get none of, because the group is a bit mad. There's people that want me to die. And I'm like, that's not a forfeit, that's death.
No, that's I think we can come up with it on the podcast, to be honest with you.
No,
Why
I
not?
even said,
Okay, I was going to make a suggestion, but go ahead.
all right, ready for the forfeit? The forfeit is I have to watch wrestling next year.
What, every
Watch
single
everything.
televised promotion you have to
Watch everything to do with WWE. Watch all the WWE, like all the Raw, SmackDown, thing. And they will quiz me on it. They will just come with me and go, "Did you watch Raw?" And I go,
and the reality shows. You got to watch Bianca and her man like run around.
That's a good one.
What? I don't know about that. I said people ain't got time, but that's just taking a pee. You see, you want people to die. You're one of them as well, aren't you? You're one of them.
What?
I'm back in my eyes bleeding.
Entertaining shit, man. She be whipping her hair and shit. I don't know.
2 mega powers meeting here tonight. The mega powers, brother.
The mega, yeah, the mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah.